All praise and glory to the Most High. Hayah, Hayah, Hayah. What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone that is on their indigenous truth journey is making some headway. Want to say what's up to a couple of people. Maryland. I want to say what's up to the sister that hit the jackpot with her vital statistics. Congratulations once again. Want to say what's up to TMB, Maryland. Congratulations. I know you done made some headway as well on getting that vital information. Okay. I want to say what's up to everybody else that's on this journey. Lex Will, Education Center, all of you who have decided to, again, correct the wrongs that have been done to you via paperwork, paper genocide, things of that nature. All right. I haven't made a video in a while because I've been actively correcting my status. So I want to address a couple of things pertaining to this. First of all, let's see. So, of course, I got my information blocked out, but, just to let people know, so this is my SF-181. I already went through the Social Security Administration. Let's see, because what this is about, I just want to let people know something. I'm not one of these individuals. The reason why I haven't made any videos in a while after coming across this information is because I don't want to be one of these individuals sitting up here telling you, you need to do this and you need to do that, and I ain't did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I'm really on here to help my people, my indigenous people, move forward from this madness we have been subjected to. But I don't want to be one of these people that, that I don't want to be a hypocrite. So that's my receipt. Let's see. I've been at home for a couple of weeks, taking care of some business, but that's my receipt. Let me try to block out my information. Those of you who know me, that I talk to every day on the phone, that's in our circle, you know who I am already. So, but so that's my receipt from going down there. Okay. All right. So that was the Social Security Administration. Then that's my ethnicity, my SF-181. Got it notarized, right? I self-identified as American Indian, being of the original people of North, South, Central America. Okay? Now, me personally, I felt no need to mark white because I do not want to become, I gave up being chattel property. I'm not trying to be commercial property. That's how I see it. I am indigenous to this landmass America, and that's how I am identifying based on what this says, American Indian, of the original people of North, South, Central America. That is my personal choice. I want to make that clear. Personal choice, self-declaration. All right? That's that. Now, what I have here is the, because of time constraints, for me, I faxed my SF-181 with attachments, right? So as you can see, all right? Now, I gotta throw on my glasses. Yeah, 30. Anyways, all right. So right here, there's the fax number. Okay. This is my fax confirmation. Hoping I can see it. But where's the number on there? All right. So get you a shot of that. And when I edit this down, if it's not clear enough, I'll make sure I include it in there. But there's the number right there. You can see it on the screen, 202-395-3888. And I faxed 18 pages, including a cover sheet, all right, of attachments along with that sheet. So once again, my SF-181 form, it's notarized. I did this, 2 days ago, the 28th, okay? So again, you know, and I used some attachments, but, you know, so now, let's get some things straight. I'm talking with you, not at you, my people, my indigenous people, my indigenous truthers. This is a choice, okay? If you do not decide you want to do this, fine, that is your choice. For those of us who have decided to do these things, it's our choice. I decided to do this because I understand what all this means, okay? Now, before I say what I'm about to say, I just want to make a declaration so we're clear. This is not towards anyone in particular, okay? All right? I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, this, that, and the other. I'm just talking with you. For those of you who claim you don't need to correct your status, and for those of you who are listening to these people, you need to ask yourself where these people are making these videos from that are telling you what to do. You know, these people that are telling you to flee, are they making their videos from the comfort of their homes? Are they making these videos from the wilderness? You know, this, to me, this gets easier and easier as we go along, right? Okay? Again, I'm not going to be one of these people that's telling you you need to do this and you need to do that, and I'm not doing it. That's why I haven't made any videos, because I'm actively correcting my status. That's just my choice. Self-declaration, right? But for those of you who are telling people that they don't need to do this, have you fled to the wilderness? Have you pulled your children out of this system? Remember, all of you who have birth certificates for your children and yourselves, that includes me as well, you're chattel property in this system. So those of you who are telling people that they don't need to correct their status or change their status, or however you want to word it, are you explaining this, especially to these single women with children who have no men in their lives or whatever the case may be, who are you know, about that Hayah and they believe all this information? Are you explaining that to them? That, you know, if they pull their children out of school in their present status, that they will come after you? You know, if I'm wrong about that information, then please correct me. No one is above correction. You know, I simply just say that just to say that, you know, it's easy for me to sit in the comfort of my home and tell you what to and what not to do. It's easy for me to do that. You know, it's easy for me to tell you you need to flee Babylon and this, that, and the other. And I ain't fled. You know, again, this is not towards anyone in particular. It's just that, you know, for those of you who are actively following people telling you you don't need to do this or you don't need to do that, or you need to do this and you need to do that, and they ain't did this shit themselves, who's the fool? You see, I'm about this. Again, I'm actively correcting, in the process of correcting my status so I could come out of this Babylonian system that we are contracted wrong with. I'm not going to get into all of that stuff because by now there's so much different there's so much information out here there's no excuse. I mean, between Chief, Nanya Shabu El, Lex Will, myself, Education Center, uh, you know, the brothers on the Islam, and I mean, I self am Lord and Master on that tip. I mean, there's so much information pertaining to this. It's just ridiculous. There's no excuse. Okay. I mean, again, you know, you have to understand, or by now you should understand that you, because of these contracts that you're not aware of when you sign this different paperwork that nobody reads, you're chattel property in this system. And once you understand what this system is and so on and so forth, you realize that all you, basically what it boils down to is you're getting rid of these contracts as chattel property. Again, I'm not going to go into this whole thing because there's so much information out there that you should be researching about this topic before you listen to someone that tells you you shouldn't do it. Again, this is not towards anybody in particular. So don't send me no fucking messages or trying to debate with me or whatever the case may be, because I don't give a shit. I am correcting my status because if when the time comes for me to leave, I'm going to leave with my status corrected. Point blank, period. That's it. That's my personal choice. Okay? You know, it's a lot of reading, a lot of research involved in this. You know, it's serious. You know what I'm saying? While I've been at home, starting this process, I've been compiling all kind of information so I could share with my people. See, I'm not one of these people that's gonna sit here and tell you some shit and I can't back it up. All right? You know, I'm compiling information, making it look pretty, you know, laminating things. So when I come across my people and I need to show them things, you know, putting fucking binders and or rings and shit and stuff, organizing it. You know what I'm saying? You know, that way when my people say, October Scorpio, man, can you, here it is. Here's the information for you to see for yourself. You can read this information. Check it out, right? So, again, for those of you who are telling people that they don't need to do this, are you fully aware of what you're saying to them? Because you're not telling these women, again, to these single women that believe this information, you're not telling them what's going to befall them if they decide to pull their children out of this system and they haven't corrected their status. You need to explain that to them. Okay? See, it's easy for me. I don't have children to worry about. So if I wanted to sit up here and tell you to flee, I only have myself to worry about. Okay? But people are not addressing the fact that everybody's not in the same situation. You know, you have these women, you know, these daughters of Zion, our sisters, who have these, you know, have children, and they're not fully aware of what they did when they signed this birth certificate and things of that nature. However, you can correct those things by correcting your status. Okay? Because, throw these back on again, and I'm going to read a couple of things out of the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. All right? Let's see. Right? Self-identification. Article 1. The American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People applies to the indigenous people of the Americas. Self-identification as an indigenous people will be fundamental criteria for determining who this declaration applies. Self-identification. So again, if you want to self-identify yourself as chattel property, that's your choice. That is your choice to do so. But whatever befalls chattel property, then you got to roll with the punches, right? The state shall respect the right to such self-identification as indigenous, individually or collectively, in keeping with the practices and institutions of each indigenous people. All right, it's right there. You should have a copy of this. Everyone who is about this, you should, you see what I'm talking about? This stuff will be with me at all times because these are my rights. I'm standing on this as an indigenous person. I'm going to get mine, and I hope you get yours. All right. Article 3. Indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination by virtue of self-determination by virtue of that right. They freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic and social and cultural development as an indigenous person. Again, for those of you who are about this, get your law books, your dictionaries, and your etymology dictionaries out. Study this information over and over and over again. All right? Right? Okay. Mixed up here. Right? Collective rights. Indigenous people have collective rights that are indispensable for their existence, well-being, and integral development as peoples. In this regard, the state recognizes and respects the rights of indigenous peoples to their collective action. Now let me back up for a minute. Again, it says indigenous people have collective rights that are indispensable for their existence, well-being, and integral development as peoples. In this regard, the states recognize and respect the right of indigenous peoples. Black or African American. A person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. This does not exist. You're not a people. All right? Again, I'm not going to go deep into this. Do your own research. There's more than enough information out there for you to make an intelligent decision. But this only applies to that person, this person, that person, and that person. This does not apply to black or African American, Negro, or colored because you are not considered a people. Black or African American has no standing at law. Y'all know there's plenty of information out there about this. You have no standing at law. You don't exist. Stop listening to these people who are telling you this stuff from the comfort of their homes and they haven't fully disclosed all this information to you. Again, it is your choice to do so. But don't fucking send me messages talking about, and respectfully, again, it's not to anyone in particular, don't fucking send me messages telling me you don't need to do this shit and you haven't even taken the time out to research, read, compile the information, and so on and so forth. Straight up. You know, I'm with you. I agree with you that we shouldn't have to do these things. However, we are, via paperwork, in this system. You, in my opinion, because that is the case, then you need to correct these things because it is the present situation or the present system that we are in. And believe it or not, if you do your proper research, what you're going to find out is that you can properly contract in this commercial system to your advantage and not have to deal with any of this bullshit. But that's for you to research that. You know, you wouldn't know this because you want to listen to somebody else telling you you don't need to do it. You know, I'm in this environment every day. I'm a truck driver. I understand this whole commercial system, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's, you know, I get it. So I understand what all of this really means. And that's why I opted, one of the reasons I opted to correct my status. Okay? So if you're going to listen to other people, again, who are telling you these things from the comfort of their homes, and you haven't done the necessary research on your own, you deserve every fucking thing that's gonna come to you. Every fucking thing. Because you're the fucking dumbass who didn't go out and do your own independent research. All right. Okay? Indigenous persons and communities have the right to belong to one or more indigenous peoples in accordance with the identity, traditions, customs, and systems of belonging of each people. No discrimination of any kind may arise from the exercise of such a right. Right there. So, if you are in this system, contracted as chattel property, this doesn't apply to you because you're a chattel property. Now, yeah, they use deceptive practices and so on and so forth to get you to contract this way. But remember, at the end of the day, you're the one who filled out these contracts as that. Nobody held a gun to your head. Okay? Again, they use deceptive practices on us. But what you have to understand is it's a contract in a commercial commerce environment. You contracted this way. You have to get rid of this contract and recontract while you're in a commercial environment. Now, again, I'm with you. Yes, get out of her, come out of her, flee Babylon. I'm with you on that. We're on the same page. However, unless you own your own farm and you're able to grow your own food, so on and so forth, you're still dependent on this fiat, right? I'm not getting ready to sit up here and tell you no bullshit, tell you to flee. How you gonna feed yourself? How you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? How you right? So on and so forth. So this is what I'm saying. Do the necessary research, okay? Stop fucking sending me stupid ass fucking messages talking about this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Again, someone sent me a message talking about we shouldn't have to pay for the land. You're correct. Because according to this, it's your land. You're absolutely at 500% agree with you. No shit, Sherlock. However, instead of debating with me about that, share with the people on how they can procure their land without having to pay for it. I, myself, have not gotten to that step yet because I'm working on correcting my status. And then I'm moving on to all these other things that apply to me as an indigenous person. Okay? So again, respectfully, my brothers and sisters, for those of you who say you don't need to do these things, we don't need to pay for that, we don't need to pay for that, show the people how to do these things and don't waste your time debating with me or sending me messages. Nonsense. Share the information on how to do the things. Okay? You know, when I get back out on the road, I'm getting ready to leave again, right? And you know how I like to go visit these different places and share them with you via video and things of that nature. And, and I like to encourage you as an indigenous people to just get out of these cities if you can and go travel and see the land. It is not my fault while we was in the land of Nod. It's not my fault that they built shit on the land like dams, and they built convenience parking and things of that nature. I can't. That's not my fault. I can't help that. So for those of you who like to, well, you shouldn't have to pay for parking, and you shouldn't have to pay for this, and you shouldn't have to pay for that, you shouldn't have to pay. You're correct. You shouldn't. Most of the time, they have a free alternative that may be a couple of miles down the road or something to that effect. When you go to these places, you don't have to fucking pay for their food. Bring your own food. When you go to these places, You don't have to park at the parking lot and so on and so forth. Park your ass a couple of miles down the road where the free parking is and walk. I mean, it's just that simple. Okay? Again, I only want to encourage you to get up and get out and see some things. If they built some shit and they charge for parking and so on and so forth, look for the free alternative. That's totally up to you. But don't send me those type of messages. That's not my fault. They did that. It's not. I can't help. They built things around us while we were sleeping. I can't help that. That has nothing to do with me. I'm only here to encourage you as an indigenous person to get up and get out and see. You know, get used to getting up and getting out of these cities and venturing off and seeing things on your land as an indigenous person. Okay? So, you know, again, that's why I've been, you know, haven't been, you know, I'm not going to go into this, man. I mean, again, there's so much information out here pertaining to all these between, you know, the people that believe in the same thing you believe in and the people that believe in other things that are on the same path, correcting their status and so on. There's so much information out here for you to make an intelligent decision. It's ridiculous. There's no excuse. Seriously. But don't be this person, and this is for my friends and family as well. Don't be this fucking person that haven't done any necessary research and you're trying to have a conversation with me about this and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Seriously. I'm gonna fucking curse you out. I might roll up on you in my 18-wheeler and stomp you out or some shit like that for real. Because you're fucking ignorant. And I'm talking about my friends and family. Seriously. If you haven't done the necessary research and you're trying to tell people this is not true and this, that, and the other, and I mean, I got all this, I mean, I got paper everywhere. All right? Don't do that. Please do the necessary research first before you try to have a conversation with me about these things. Because I'm subject to have a fucking adverse reaction, man. Seriously. Straight up. And I mean that respectfully, with love. But outside of that, I just wanted to share that again. This was not to anyone in particular. I'm just, I received some messages and I'm just like, okay, if you don't want to correct your status, if you want to stay black, chattel property, you want to stay some non-existent shit, whatever, that's your choice. By all means, stay black, stay strong, do what you got to do. Me personally, I'm going to correct my status. That way, when I need to walk up out of this, I'm walking up out of this motherfucker a free man. Point blank, that's it. Okay? You want to leave here as chattel property and go to the next border where they operating in commercial commerce, go right ahead. That is your choice. That is the beauty of all of this. Self-determination, self-declaration, so on and so forth. It's your choice. So, that's it. So, again, I'm on this process. You probably won't hear from me for a while until I get this going because, like I said, I don't want to be a hypocrite to my people. I really want to help my people. And before I can help you, I need to help myself, and I need to get this process so I can turn around and show you it could be done. I don't want to be one of these people sitting up here telling you not to do it or to do it, and I ain't did it. Okay? So just remember that. Again, while you're sitting up here listening to people, you have to ask yourself, where are they doing these videos from? They doing these videos from the comfort of their home, telling you what you should or should not do, and they ain't did this shit themselves. It's just that simple. I mean, it's simple mathematics, is it not? Right? It gets easier and easier as we go along. And again, my disclaimer is that it's not towards anyone in particular. It's general. All right? So, hope everyone who has decided to do this, everything is working out well for you. Remember, we coming in the righteousness. We coming in the Most High. Hayah. He got our backs. You know what I'm saying? This is coming out of her, coming out of the Babylonian system, coming out of her as black chattel property, and being in your right persona, being the indigenous person that you're supposed to be, you know, so on and so forth. But do the necessary research. It's just that simple. It's not like I often tell the women that are on this, you know, you might as well get out that big ass jar of Vaseline and get your hot tops out and slap that shit on your face. It's a fight. You know, like I said, I mean, you see all this information up in here? All this is pertaining to correcting your status and what your rights are. You know, you don't have no rights as this non-existent black entity, black American, Negro, colored. You don't have no rights. This is the whole reason why they reclassified you as these things, so it untie you from your land and untie you from your rights. That's why they did it. So basically, you have all these people enjoying your land and your rights, pretending to be you, while you walking around here pretending to be black, African American, Negro, and all this other bullshit. Think about it. Seriously. So, you know, I understand why it's easy for people to tell you not to do these things, because there's a lot of research, a lot of reading. You got to be proactive in this. Proactive. You can't just sit around and be bullshucking and jiving and bullshitting in this. See, that's what it is. So you need to question people when they telling you about this. You don't need to do this. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we suffering from that whole crabs in the barrel syndrome thing. I don't know who that is. So, anyways, all praise and glory to the Most High. Hayah, Hayah. Again, those things were said out of respect and with love. Hayah, Hayah.